Most guys who lift avoid training cardio because they think it's gonna kill their gains and therefore lead them to be less shredded, less jacked. But what if I were to tell you that actually the opposite may be true if you train your cardio in the right way? That actually training cardio can help you make better gains and lose fat and get in shape, in a better way and also faster. For myself, over the last year, I've ran more than I ever have, really, running 4 to 5 times a week, 40 to 50 kilometers per week. And funnily enough, somehow, my upper body especially got more jacked than ever. And don't just take it from my experience. We often think about that interference effect and that killing our gains, so cardio doesn't mix well. There was actually a 2016 study which looked at trying to solve this question and seeing if it was actually true, and what they found was that actually the guys who did both cardio and lifted actually got better results, saw more muscle growth. So the fact that we think that may not be true. So the big question is what is going on here, and how can we not let running and doing cardio ruin the gains that we want to make? But here's the thing, most guys think that cardio is purely just for fat loss and burning calories, which, yes, can help that for sure. But the thing that you often miss is that cardio is a great conditioning tool. So thinking of, when you're doing a set of squats and it's tough and your legs may feel all right, but you feel absolutely gassed and you take ages to recover between sets. That can be the key factor in you progressing and being able to do more volume in lesser time within the gym, which helps you get more and build more lean tissue and get jacked. And once you fix that conditioning, something great happens with your training, which I'll get onto in a minute. But first, the type of cardio we're talking about here isn't thrashing yourself doing HIIT workouts, being absolutely bollocks at the end of a workout. It's actually what we call zone 2 or easy cardio. The type where you can move but also still hold a normal conversation. You should be able to speak normally, doing what we call a talk test. Somewhere between 60 to 70% of your max heart rate, or a 3 to 5 out of 10 effort. And the helpful part is you don't actually need to do a shit ton of it to get some good results. A little bit here and there, 30 to 45 minutes twice per week is plenty to build that stimulus to adapt. So what is actually going on in the body that helps? A few key things happen when you train and develop your cardio. Firstly, your heart or your cardiovascular system develops more capillaries, so you have a higher capillary density. And then your heart is more efficient at pumping and delivering oxygen to the muscles that you're working. And why this is really helpful, why it all ties into helping you make more gains, is that you can recover faster between sets. You can do more work within a set if you need to, without feeling absolutely gassed. And so that, stacked over the weeks and months and years, leads to more total volume of training, which then means you basically just pumped a bit more and giving yourself more stimulus to grow muscle. So it's not the cardio in itself that helps, but improving your cardio as a byproduct allows you to do more of the work that can help you build muscle. But there's always a fucking catch, isn't there? It can go wrong. And this is where most people actually do mess up. If you push the cardio too hard, especially with running and the legs, it can interfere and stop you from gaining lower body strength and also stop you from building muscle. And if you go too hard, it can actually go backwards. And the reason for this is because, yes, you're competing for two things: endurance through running, but also strength and building muscle through the lifting. And so this is where it's key to get the structure of your training right so that you can make progress and make gains across the board. But the really cool thing that most of us aren't aware of is that the interference effect is local. So if you run, your upper body's going to be fine. Whereas the benefits are systemic. So the cardiovascular benefits you get doing lower body running is going to help the whole body. So that's where you can work more within your upper body and build and grow in that sense. Which is why we often see, and when it's done right, guys being able to grow their upper body whilst improving their fitness and running more. And so the real question then comes is, how the fuck do you get these results, Ewan? How do we actually practically apply it? Because I know that's what you want to get from this video, is something that can actually help. The key to doing all this correctly there are three main things really. Number one is actually starting easy. If you go out too hard, too fast, we all know that that doesn't last long. And it just turns into fatigue instead of adapting. The second one is structuring and stacking your week correctly. So you don't want to stack a run the day before a harder leg day or lower body day. If we give ourselves a decent gap between, you'll then allow yourself to recover, so then you can go into your training sessions with more intent. And then the third one is controlling the volume. So starting lighter with less, allow yourself to adapt to that, as opposed to hitting 5-6 sessions per week. Start with 1, start with 2, and then build slowly from there. Because the reality of the matter is that, and I say this with everything, more is not always better. Better is better. Sometimes that means more, but sometimes that means less, but with better intent. And a quick tip, if your main goal is more so about building the muscle, then the modality you pick for the cardio does make a difference here, because if you run more and in higher volumes, that has more of an effect on interfering compared to using a bike or a rower. So I'd recommend implementing those modalities a bit more if running isn't as important for you. And so yeah, it's going to work best for those of you who feel like you get out of breath between sets, feel like you can't pump out as many reps as you'd like because your cardio is your limiting factor. Those of you who want better athletic performance as well as the physique and not just one or the other. And if you just generally feel a bit unfit despite how much training you're doing. But you may want to dial back, and something that we do, and I do when I work with the guys individually inside the LAP program, is that we set the goal, and if your goal is to peak for strength or peak for powerlifting performance or some kind of fitness event, and or if you're just a beginner and getting strong first is probably going to be your best bet, then we can hold off on the running a bit more. So here's the simple takeaway. 2 cardio sessions per week. Keep it really easy, a level where you can talk comfortably, 30 to 40 minutes, and generally keep it further away from your lower body sessions. Because remember, you're not doing this to burn calories, you're doing it to improve your performance. And remember, if you're one of those guys who lifts but skips cardio because you're worried about it killing your gains, you may just be missing out on the one thing that could actually help. And if you do want more help with this, just hit the link in the description and we can chat some more.